Welcome everyone to the 154th weekly live stream. Today we have the ever fluffy Fluffy's Eye,
Hello.
and I do
And
believe there's a mouse
we
in
have
the walls.
somewhere off and everything in the shadows. And we have the ever present zombie pony, Living Dead.
Brains. I want you
Gotta
for
feed
your
him art brains.
brains.
Artist brains. See, this is secretly what he does to critique stream, is to teach people to be better artists. They have all that juicy art knowledge and make juicy art brains for him to consume and become a
Giving
better
away my
artist.
secrets. Alright, let's get this off. So, same rules as always. If you have any questions or art you'd like critiqued, please submit it to us, and we'll add it to the list. Otherwise, we'll just be going over pictures that are on the or that we've lined up from the subreddit. So first one is going to be The Left by Rainbow Shimmers. It is, and you are here for what? Critique, please. Still not sure how to add description on here, but I wanted some critiques on shading and just the overall headshot slash bust I did. Most of the info is in the DA description.
Oh no, what's happening to my tablet? Oh no, each of these dots counts as a new line. No.
You're doomed!
Oh, I was gonna say it's one shot, but no, I just had to press start. Okay, I'm gonna restart my tablet.
So it stops.
So I was about to say I can't click on the layers without it like trying to rename them. I'm not double pressing. No, sorry, I'm just having some tablet problems. Oops.
He's just tapping out Morse code.
Yeah. It's secretly like help me. I'm being I'm just here to have my brain consumed. It's a trap.
Help! I need an adult.
I'm an adult and I need another one. Yeah. I'm not very good at doing it myself. Okay. Sorry about that. What were they? They're talking about shading.
They're looking for shading in general, questions about the entire body.
Okay, so for shading, I like something that jumps out to me because you've got some lovely like techniques. The it all seems very well balanced to me. What I think is that it's just a little bit too vague in places, like particularly when you look like the shadows around here and sort of around the body here. It feels like you like very unconfident, and that's totally fine if you're not used to doing shading. Something that can help, even if you don't do cell shading or cell shade first and then blur it like I do. It just if you sort of map out like where the shading's supposed to be, then that can really help you to define like where you're putting it with the airbrush or whatever technique you're using. Like I said, with me, I actually cell shade everything, and then I take a blurring brush and I like a paint brush, which I just use for the smudging, and I will go around and I'll just blur everything. But everyone has their own different way of doing it. But like, this cheek's nice. That where that sits is nice. But like the muzzle feels like it has a weird shape because it kind of bends like this. And that's not quite what you want to go for, of course. But that is also something that I struggle with like face shapes. Faces are where the shading falls apart for me. So that would just be a case of looking up reference and like light and form references, as well as like artwork where people have done shading as well. Just everything that you can find for different references of, sort of tutorials on how it's supposed to look and how people have interpreted it. And then that will help you decide where to put things. The other thing that you can try, I don't know if you did it this way to begin with, or if it's something you've thought of before or not, but you can try just getting your shade layer and just just fill it. Just literally take a paint bucket tool, just fill the whole thing, and then just erase. Just like get your eraser tool, get your airbrush set to opacity or to white if you've got the shaders multiplier, whatever you're doing, just then erase the shading. And that because then you're applying light instead of applying shadow, and sometimes that can be a bit easier for people to figure out. CPC loves your ear fluff. Oh, it's Living Dead.
Actually, I'm pointing to
CPC
the
does.
signature. Look how
Oh.
it's just so beautifully worked into that. Easily mistaken for just lines left on the hair, but it's a signature.
So I actually thought it was just lines left on the hair.
So, just a few comments about the general shape going on here and some questions I have on
much, but
how it was constructed. So, looking at your horns, well, I understand they're supposed to be curved and then they curve up, much like I guess a yak's horn. The one on our right gives that impression of that curve, but then the one on the left is giving this impression of it being more straight and then just coming back towards the center. We lose that arch that I would expect to see out the back of it.
yeah, and that's definitely very true. It looks like they're coming out as sort of a more of this direction rather than sitting at alongside the head. If you just completely forget the rest of the head exists and just look at the horns, like it looks like it's coming from a different direction, basically. It also sort of throws perspective into the face a little bit, and there's definitely something off about the way the eyes and muzzle are lined up now that I look at it, and especially with LD's plus shape here, because that can really help to define where everything's supposed to be going. So I have attempted to neaten everything up a little bit based on that middle line that LD drew. Well, it's not perfect, but it definitely helps to get things a little bit straighter. So the middle of the nozzle is here, if you can imagine this being sort of like a square.
Yeah.
Where the bridge of the nose goes up here. When muzzles are not square, they're meant to be round so they can be grabbed. That's always adorable. Have you ever just grabbed a dog's snout? It's so cute.
I've pet it. I try not to grab dogs' faces.
But it's a weird thing that like you would never do it to like someone else's dog, but when it's your own dog, you just like go nuts. But yeah,
Looks
that's
like CPC's just working on giving some shape to your horn. So she's added just little indents into it, and that's helping because those lines that you see through it are actually grooves in them. So she's giving more shape behind those grooves. Definitely helps giving some character to those horns.
What I've been doing is a lot of just, for example, it feels a bit like there was just a layer with just color underneath, and then you just use a masking layer on top. And I feel like that's good to start, but when it's the painting, at the end you should go over and break the form a bit, like putting the grooves and adding a bit of fluff that comes out. And that was done in the hair, but it's missing on the rest of the body. I finally figured out how to move the canvases.
This program is a bit tricky to control.
Yeah, I just got a new tablet. I don't know how to do any of this.
Oh.
I still can't zoom in.
Oh no.
I have to go to the laptop and use the keys, but the laptop is far away.
Oh. Reach, little mouse.
I'm in a very weird position where it's like my left hand is on the keyboard that is on the right, and my right hand is on top of the left hand trying to draw.
Just be a lefty.
Can I just say it like because the LD was like, oh, I think there's like a little mouse in the wall somewhere. I'm now like imagining like when you pop out to talk, you're literally just like a little mouse, like a little tiny graphics tablet popping out of a hole in the wall and just like doing some doodling and as you explain stuff. And then like when you said the tablet's so far away, I just imagine you like looking across this human-sized room to the desk, like way over there with this tablet. And now I want to have this animated.
Now you have a project, Fluffy.
Clip Studio even lets you put music on it if you want.
Oh yeah.
Alright, let's go on to the next picture.
Woohoo.
It's gonna be the little love bug up top.
It's so cute.
So this is by Lulu's Evil Twin, Ululu, and it's Critique Bug in a Rug. I would like this piece submitted to the critique stream. I'm clarifying this because the last drawing before this wasn't reviewed on the stream despite having critique in the title. And if it was, I didn't receive any notification that it was on the stream. Yeah.
LD.
Well, hold your butt here. That was the Christmas submissions. So we had the stream off for 2 weeks. We took a break, a much needed break. It was great.
Yeah.
And then we came back and did that week's pictures. We didn't bother going back because, well, we were busy and we're still busy adults doing our thing. If your picture has critique, we try not to critique it either, just because it already has critique, unless if when we read the critique we don't like everything said in it or disagree or have things to expand on, then we'll go ahead and bring it in. It's really what we feel at the time. If you would like a nearly guaranteed entry into being critiqued, come to our stream and say, hey, I have these questions. And then we will be 100% on board with doing any picture you can send to us. Because we love answering questions live. Because, back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
yeah.
That was the long way of saying, yeah, we were on vacation, sorry.
Is this the Changeling's new blanket time forum?
That nose is very, very pointy.
Very sharp. Yeah, it's just more dangerous than their horn.
Mm-hmm. I know.
Especially because you just want to boop it, and it's a trap. But I don't know how the Changelings actually look in the show. I can't remember, to be honest, at the moment. Not exact details.
Nose. I'm looking for a reference.
But this is one of the newer ones.
Yeah, I mean that's what I was talking about.
I think that's Ocellus.
Oh, okay.
There.
That would make sense. Probably is. But I just can't remember how pointy their faces are, how differently they're shaped compared to ponies.
Very pointy. I passed the reference into Discord. I don't know how to do it.
Wow. Yeah, those are pointy faces.
Where's Discord? It's gone.
Oh.
I think it's crashed. I'm gonna have to open Discord now.
I think it's a bit too pointy in this picture, but I have pointy noses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Also, the muzzle is turned sideways. Well,
that's what I was trying to work on. I think so. It's so you got the head comes round, and you got the bridge of the nose, and then it comes up, and then the front of the nose is gonna be here. That makes sense. But I just don't know how to actually show that from this perspective exactly. It is a tricky one. Do they have pointy tongues too? Do you want to get that a little tongue blip? Oh, they didn't have pointy tongue. You gotta have the lem tongue.
Although I haven't seen the new changelings.
Oh, well, the old ones had the hissy tongues, didn't they? But I don't know if the new ones do. But I don't think we've seen any of them with their tongue out. Probably, unless Ocellus has done a cheeky little raspberry. Let's just assume they can have adorable, blip, blip. Look at that face. It's cute. It's a cute face. You want to just give them a little cheek squishy. Let's give that face some weight. Let's actually fix the straw a little bit.
Look at him go.
Actually, they do have this sort of skull-like shape to their heads, I think, don't they?
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
So you don't want to make it too pony-like, but you can't resist giving a little bit of a squishy cheek. Come on. So I'm just trying to balance that a little bit. Let's draw this one back a little bit, just to balance. There we go. Woohoo! You got the right idea by overlapping part of the horn, by the way. That's definitely how you show that three-dimensional perspective. So yeah, there we go. That's as best as I can do anyway. So I feel like this foreleg's bothering me a little bit because it's slightly too small compared to the other leg. Just like a little bit, especially considering it's closer to us. It's one of those things where like it's just like slightly bothering. If it was like a little bit better, a little bit more the other way, it wouldn't be bothering, even if it's not perfect. I was literally just off topic. I was literally just thinking in my head, oh, we had 7 viewers. That's more than my show. That's like twice as much as my show gets. And then like it immediately dropped down to 6 as I was thinking. I'm sorry for my hubris.
It's because you thought about it. It had to refresh. Alright, do we want to move on to the last submitted one?
Woo. If you lovely 6 viewers, probably counting myself, have any art that you want to have critiqued, then give it to us. And we'll have a look.
We have Plum, Maze, Mere Crescent, and Vatron.
Woo.
Alright, the last one that has been submitted to us is by Dragbacks. And it is...
This is very impressive looking.
Mm-hmm. I feel like Sunset's leg feels off. Question mark. If any advice is appreciated.
There are 4 legs. Which one? The 4 legs, I assume?
That
But
one, yep. Yep.
So let's have I make you angry with my accidental punch. So you can try and help one leg by balancing the other one. I don't know, that's actually not right. Or at least trying to figure out like what the pose is that you're trying to go for. Yes, poses are never going to be really symmetrical. It makes sense to have an asymmetrical pose. These are organic creatures like we are, who are not going to be in like a robotically symmetrical position all the time. Yeah. But I do understand what you're saying, like the gripe you have where it's like, does it look right or not? Because sometimes when it's just subtle, it can look a little bit off. I ran out of something. Angry face. I can't read that word. Oh, here it comes. Oh, you ran out of undo. Okay. She ran out of Control Z power. That happens. This program's not very generous with it. Okay. Oh, actually, yes, that works. Okay. So this is just a case of like, how can we figure out this pose and make it look a little bit nicer? Let me just clear the space a little bit. If I can grab the right color. Just make this. Actually, I'm just gonna grab the gray. There we go. Just to give a little bit more visibility to what we're sketching. Just a sec. Back I go. So what I've done, I think I'm onto something here with this. So this is a good time to sort of focus on the forelegs, or these sort of like frontal parts. So like, if I do this, you can see there's sort of like this plane stretching between them here. So that's sort of given us a nice like basis to like how the legs could be positioned. So I don't know. This is how sometimes I do it, just to sort of get an idea. If I'm struggling with the legs anyway, just to get an idea of how they're placed in relation to each other. There's all kinds of ways to do it. I like doing this triangle thing to show like the base of the hoof, like the very bottom of the hoof, just to help me position things in my head. Let's see if this works. It might not work, but art is all about experimenting and trying to figure it out. Oh, also my neck is really getting stiff from this angle. We were just talking about massages earlier. I was saying I've never had one. I feel like I need one so badly. Yeah, so this is looking nice. So placing the hooves like a little bit closer together in this respect. It still has that like motion of them like flying and moving and prancing or whatever it is that they're doing at the moment. It's quite an adaptable sort of position, this one. But it definitely shows like it's got the life in it, but it's also kind of tame enough to, because it was quite a relaxed position initially that you drew. So I think this works here like this. Plus, I think it works really well with the wings. The wings are down showing that she's either. I think these characters are flying. I imagine that's what you're doing. I was also just sort of like imagining she was like sort of gliding or hopping, little hop flap. But in either case, having the legs up like this works with the wings in a sort of flying position. Sorry. So I hope that helps you figure things out a little bit. If you don't like the pose, you can try a different way, but it's all about that like construction and trying to figure out the positioning of everything. I know you probably don't want to do such a drastic change because you've already like lined a lot of it by the looks of it, or I don't know how much of that is like sketching. Can't tell if it's like, is it so neat? I can't tell if this is actually your like your line art already done, or if it's sketches. Which is the kind of same for me. People tell me my sketches are insanely neat, and I also sketch in multicolor, so it looks like this because I like separate each part with a different color, so I can like and different layer, so I can not destroy what I've already drawn and differentiate everything. So this is very familiar for me. If it is a sketch though, like the only thing I can see on this entire drawing that looks sketch-like is this part, where there's like a double line. Everything else is like seamless. So I don't know. Anyway, it's a very, very nice drawing. There's lots of, I love the expressions. There's like a lot of subtle emotion going in there. So I just love like the idea of how these characters are interacting and how they're moving together. I love the perspective of how you've got sunset like very big in the foreground. You've got like twilight off to the side here. It's very nice.
The
very
freaking
good
mane on Sunset. The fire,
yeah.
It's so gorgeous.
Right? That's what I thought was really impressive. It's just so like, like boom, right in your face. Plus, it can't be much harder to draw than her original mane. I don't like drawing Sunset's mane. It's so complicated. Also, yeah, like CPC says, wings plus plus. Your wings are actually very, very nicely done. They got such a nice like draping curve to them. I love how twies are like asymmetrical because like they're like catching the wind and like adjusting and stuff. That it looks so like natural. It's really good.
So that's all the critique I got.
Yeah.
I want to see this done because it's gorgeous.
Yes, absolutely. I want to see it finished in our Discord, on our subreddit, in our faces.
Like mailed to me with your signature, you know, whatever.
You mean like a A3 glossy poster print?
Sure. All right. If no one else has any other art they'd like critiqued,
we'll just have to sit down here and admire CPC's drawing process of a little Twilight as we're waiting. Yes, I think it's Twilight got the shape in the main. Or maybe it's not. Just a cute pony.
Anything could be Twilight if you try hard enough. Alright then. Seeing as no one else has any art they'd like to submit to us, we'll be calling this a day. Thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you again hopefully next week.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, I'll find the stuff.